Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, D3 Topics Gamer, and I have another awesome requested tier list style ranking video to share with you guys today. Now, as a 90s kid, I grew up with Jim Carrey. I think, without question, Jim Carrey is probably the funniest actor slash comedian that I've ever had the pleasure of actually watching. And a viewer of mine actually thought it would be an interesting idea for me to do a tier list ranking of all of his movies, so that is what we are going to do today. So if you happen to enjoy this tier list style ranking video of mine, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep track of me in all my future video reviews. And remember, if any of you have ideas that you would make for great top 10 list videos, or even tier list ranking videos, or just discussion videos in general, please let me know what you'd like to see in the comments down below, and I will try to get it to you as soon as I can. Now, I actually found a number of different tier lists, but this one I think is actually pretty good. There was like a few of them that had like a few other movies, like a lot of movies that he had done before I could probably remember anything. So the list, when I finished doing it, looked very, very odd because there was like a lot of movies before he was probably popular that he'd done that I didn't even know exist. So like this list here are movies that I am actually quite familiar, and I do know I have seen most of them. There's like a very few that I actually haven't seen, so that's why I picked this particular list video. So I'm just gonna knock out the ones that I haven't seen, and there aren't too many of them. So a movie like All in Good Taste, I haven't seen before. Something like Earth Girls Are Easy, I haven't seen that one. High Strung, I haven't heard of that one before. Pecan Pie. Let's see what else. And I think the last one is The Majestic. So these five movies of his, I didn't even know they exist. I haven't seen, and these look like these were the ones that were like well early in his career before he really got popular. So I'm just gonna go down the list and rank them into either all-time great, awesome, worth watching, or something that I'm just not a fan. So starting off at the beginning, we have A Christmas Carol. I'm going to be honest. I like the Christmas Carol story. It does have a moral message, but this is probably my least favorite interpretation of it. I mean, there are multiple versions and multiple takes on it. Like there's one with Patrick Stewart, and then there's one that's like very, very old. But out of all of them, I gotta admit, this one is my least favorite. I've only seen it once, and it's like, you didn't really do anything out of the normal. You didn't add anything. It just, you know, it's just A Christmas Carol, but it's my least favorite version of it. Next, we have Ace Ventura. Easy, all-time, it's one of the all-time great. Jim Carrey easily had probably the best year ever for a comedic actor. And I do believe that was either 93 or 94, I think. But yeah, that's one of his most iconic roles. The sequel, however, I think is not quite as good, but I do think it is worth watching. So that's where I'm going to put that one. Batman Forever. All of you suckers who dump on Batman Forever can go straight to hell. That is absolutely an all-time great for multiple reasons. Number one, Batman Forever was actually the very, very, very first Batman movie I had ever seen. So that was the film that actually made me a Batman fan. On top of that, that movie is also half of the reason that the color green is my favorite color. The other half of that is the fact that Tommy was the Green Ranger, and I was really into Power Rangers. So Green Power Ranger, Batman Forever, that is the reason the color green is my favorite movie. I think Val Kilmer was an awesome Bruce Wayne and awesome Batman. This still remains in my top 5 favorite live-action Batman films of all time. Come at me, I will defend this film till I go into the grave. Next, we have Bruce Almighty. I think Bruce Almighty was actually pretty good. I really like it. I've seen this a number of times. Next, we have Dark Crimes. I gotta admit, I know that Jim Carrey attempts to do things outside of comedy, and he certainly has had a number of drama roles, but he just flat out, for me, does not work for a horror thriller. Just flat out. I am not a fan of this film at all. I've only seen it once, didn't like it. I know he wants to challenge himself as an actor, but I know he can do drama, but horror thrillers, absolutely not. Next, Horton Hears a Who. I mean, it's worth a watch. It's not one of the better Dr. Seuss films, but I think it's in mid tier. Dumb and Dumber 2. Gotta admit, I think they waited too long. I'm not a fan of this one. I think it's okay, but It's something I've seen once. I think they just waited too long, personally. I mean, I loved the first Dumb and Dumber, but the second one, not so much. Which goes into Dumb and Dumber, which is absolutely all-time great. Excellent. Seen it multiple times, can recite a number of key lines, and there's actually a number of few very genuine dramatic moments that really hit me harder now as an adult than they did when I was younger when I first saw this. So this is actually a movie I've actually enjoyed more as I grew up. So, and that's very, very rare for movies that I watched in the 90s as a kid. Next, Eternal Sunshine, as I like to call it. I think this is an absolutely awesome film. Not so much a comedy. This is more of a much more serious kind of growth movie, but I think it works very, very well. Next, Fun with Dick and Jane. I absolutely really enjoy this movie. He plays a businessman who pretty much loses his job, and then he pretty much becomes a robber with his wife in order to save his house. Works. Absolutely works. Love this movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is easily an all-time great. This is my favorite interpretation of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is my favorite Dr. Seuss film of all time. And I would even say it's probably a top 3 favorite Christmas movie of all time. I mean, we all have our own little traditions when it comes to Christmas films. We all like to watch with the family. The top 3 Christmas films that I watch every single year as a tradition, at least that I like to keep, is easily Die Hard, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Home Alone. I watch those 3 films every single year, but yeah, easily one of the all-time greats. I Love You Something. I gotta admit, not really a fan of this one. I think I've seen it once, and I was just like, okay, not really a fan. Maybe some of you guys are. Kick-Ass 2. I think it's worth watching, but I gotta be honest. He doesn't have as big of a role as I thought it would be, and just in general, I actually like the first Kick-Ass more than the second one. I think the second one is fine, and you know, they definitely do more with some characters, but I just felt like the first one was better. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. I actually like this one. This is absolutely worth watching. This is actually in the Series of Unfortunate Events book series was actually probably the second, was behind Harry Potter in terms of a book series that I actually enjoyed reading, and I actually do recall reading all of them. And I do appreciate, and I thought it was okay that for this film they actually took the first 3 books and compressed them all together. But they did make a number of changes that I thought was like, they probably should have kept that, stick to the book, and it would have been better. But I thought it was okay with what it was trying to do. Liar Liar. This is by far my favorite Jim Carrey film of all time. All time. Great. Just, especially when it comes to my dad, and my dad was big on lying, but not so much in a negative way, but this is one I think he knocks it out of the park. By far, top 5 funniest film of all time, but by far my favorite Jim Carrey film of all time. I feel stupid for not knowing this one. I can't think of the name of this one, but I think he plays someone named Andy. He was like a comedian. I saw a documentary about this. I feel so stupid I can't think of the name of this film. But I did see it. I do think it is worth watching. I apologize. I feel so stupid I don't know the name of this film. But I just thought it was okay. This is kind of one of the more semi-serious movies because he was playing a person that had a bit of a tragic ending by the end. And I think Jim Carrey was really good. And if you actually look at the behind the scenes on how he did to prepare for this role and what he was doing during the filming, that in itself is an interesting story that I highly recommend you check it out if you can. I saw this on Netflix. Me and Myself and Irene, absolutely worth watching. Really liked it. Funny, interesting take. There were a number of twists in this film I really didn't see coming. Next, Mr. Popper's Penguins. I like this movie, but I think for this one, I think it's worth watching. But the thing is that I think this is the type of movie that you realistically could have put any comedic actor and it would have worked. I think that there's some movies that he's done where if you replace him with another actor, it wouldn't have worked at all. This one, I think there were a number of comedic actors at the time that this movie came out that you could have replaced him with, and I think the movie would have been just fine. Now, this is a movie that I did read as a kid. I think what they did with it was fine. It was a fine film. Seeing Jim Carrey dance with a bunch of CGI penguins was all dandy. But he doesn't really add too much. He just kind of does his normal things, but really any comedic actor could have been in that role and it would have worked, at least in my opinion. But I do think it's fine. What's this? Oh, another one I missed. Once Bitten. Never heard of that one before. Oh boy, the Sonic trilogy. Ooh, this is going to be tough. But I would have to say, I'm just going to knock all three of these really, really quickly. But by far, the best one is Sonic 2. I think Sonic 2, let's see, where would I put Sonic 2? Yeah, I'd put it over Dumber and Dumber, but that's about as high as I would go with that one. I can't, those four are too top tier. But yeah, Sonic, like, the Sonic trilogy is easily one of the best trilogies of video game films of all time. Sonic 3, I think is awesome, but it is my least favorite of the three. It's definitely the one I enjoyed the least amount. But the first one I thought was great. It was a clear example that, you know, you can actually successfully make a movie based off of a popular video game franchise, and that's where it all started. So yeah, that's where I put it. Ooh, Cable Guy. Ooh, that's a good one. Do I want to put it in all-time great? Damn, that's tough. I gotta put it top tier awesome. Just a couple things that hold it back slightly, but yeah, definitely easily one of his most iconic roles ever. But there was something with the ending that just kind of that was weird. That just was like, wow, that kind of went in a turn that I wasn't expecting, and it kind of threw me off. But overall, awesome film. The guy just wanted to be friends. He just wanted to be friends. Oh, Burt Wonderstone. Ew. This one was weird. I mean, it's basically put Siegfried and Roy versus Chris Angel. And I think what Jim Carrey did playing like Chris Angel or a version of him was okay. But the overall movie was just kind of like, it's okay. It's not a bad film, but it is something I've only seen once, and I was just like, yeah, it's okay, but I don't need to see it again. Oh, Dear God, the Mask. Oh, that's top tier. Ooh, that is high top tier. Yes, over Dumb and Dumber. Yes, over Sonic 2. Yes, over Ace. Does he beat the Grinch? No, I can't do it. Can't do it. No, Grinch is too high. But I will say, if Liar... Ooh, that's tough. Yeah, that's pretty high. That's definitely, yeah. Easy one is iconic roles. They never should have made a sequel to The Mask. Sequel to The Mask, Son of the Mask is awful. But yeah, definitely Mask. Funny. Has a good character. Love the dog. Yeah, some might say that is his most iconic role, and like most recognizable iconic character. Oh dear. Oh dear. Talk about going from highs of highs to one of the lowest. Number 23. Sorry. Does not work. I think it was like his first attempt to do like a serious horror drama film, and it flat out just did not work. It was very like this film. I was like, when I first saw this, I was actually uncomfortable watching him doing this. I mean, he tried to step out of his comfort zone. Sure, some people like it, but not a fan. The Truman Show. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, that's an awesome film. They could do something like this today, but yeah, this wasn't so much a comedy, but it was definitely a movie that had a pretty interesting message about people being interested in other people's lives and watching them through a screen. And then him discovering that he is, and him just wanting to escape and be in the real world instead of an artificial world. I thought that was a fantastic movie. And yes, man. This is absolutely in the awesome. I'm just trying to figure out where would I put it. Yeah, over Truman. Yeah, over Sonic. Over Fun and Dick and Jane. That's about where I would put that. Personally, something like that where he's like hypnotized or he has to say yes to everything, that's kind of almost something I want to try myself and see how much my life would change. Because like him always being able to say yes, he made a lot of very impressive life changes and made a number of decisions that I think most of us wouldn't do. And a lot of it worked out for him in the best. And I would just be like, whoa, like I would like to experience that for like a week and see what happens. I mean, who knows? You never know when you take an opportunity or you recognize it. So, yep, that is my ranking of Jim Carrey films, tier list style. If you want to give it a shot, feel free to share your favorite Jim Carrey movies of all time in the comments down below. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you guys next time.